what is going on, guys? Check out what I got. That's a 90 or 91, 92, one of the years, I don't know. Got it for a steal of a deal. It's in a little bit of rough shape. Doesn't run at the moment. We'll do, will it run, I guess. See what's going on with it. I got it from a buddy of mine, owns a repair shop. It's been sitting there for a few years. I guess the owner passed away. They didn't really feel like messing with it anymore. So yeah, I got a good deal on it. As far as I know, as far as he's told me, they believe it jumped time. So we're gonna kind of dig in and see. So looking at the door tag, it is a 91. It's pretty cool. It's got a 5.0 engine. It's not a 307, so I can only assume it's a 305, which is pretty cool. The throttle body injected, I guess, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be the first one of these I messed with the throttle body, so we'll see on that. Yeah, we're gonna kind of dig into it. Like I said, the shop I got it from, they said I believe it jumped timing. The technician that worked on it at the time, he is no longer there, so didn't really get a good story out of it. But we're gonna wait for this helicopter to fly over and then get back to it. I can smell when I pull that camera out, I swear. So for starters, what we're gonna do, put a battery in it. I'm gonna unhook the plug at the fuel tank, that way it doesn't send fuel up to the motor. I'm gonna pull number 1 plug, do a compression test, see if it has compression. If it has 0 compression, good possibility the valves aren't closing, or the piston rings are totally shot. But yeah, we're gonna start there, kind of see what it does. But before we do that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because if everything goes good on this, you'll probably be seeing this car a lot. So first business at hand, putting a good charged battery in here. That is not it. I went over to a Devil in God's Country, got my battery tool. Why do I keep that in there all the time? I don't know, I just do. It's always been in that car and I always know where it's at. Also found one of these from the Christmas parade. Yeah, that's how you get ants. That's why I let my wife ride my car. I'm gonna munch on this, probably stale as hell, but we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna change this battery out. Candy cane is still totally good, by the way. Don't be eyeballing my Impala back there. It's not for sale. I'm gonna restore it one day. Just not today. Or next week. Now, does this have a tie down? Feels like it should. And it's in there pretty good. I can kind of sort of get to that, but not really. Probably should put some penetrating oil on it. It's turning, so that's good. Yeah, watch the struggle. And that, my friends, is why I don't record everything. Simple thing is taking the battery out. How hard can that be? Pretty damn hard. That's stripped. That's awesome. Time to get the vice grips. We'll try some little ones before I break out the big ones. There we go. That went pretty good. Yeah, no handle. That's awesome. All batteries are out of handle. There's a free sock. Yummy. Got a brake parts cleaner, water bottle, cap, an egg of some sort. There's 2 little eggs that are white. I don't know what that goes to. Anybody know what those eggs are for? Alright, so to start with, I'm going to unhook the fuel pump. And there it is right there. Just unplug that. That won't send power to our fuel pump. Therefore, it won't send fuel up to our fuel line. So now I got the key. We'll kind of fiddle around with it. See what it does. Maybe this thing will shut up without having to pull a fuse. Cool, good deal. Alright, we've got some lights which are good. Our instrument cluster works, which is really good. And I do have another one. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to push on the fuel Schrader just to make sure. I mean, I highly doubt it won't. Ah! Blower motor, scared the hell out of me. I was a mouse. Let's see. Good. We're gonna do a full send. Air compressor works too. All kinds of things work on this. Let's turn her over and see what she does. To be honest, that doesn't really sound too far off the front. I guess I could have jumped one too. Alright. Dinger stop, that's good. Keys off, no dinger. Cool. Let's try a little bit of starting fluid in here and just see what it does. Let's give her a little squirt of the go juice and see what she does. Just push the accelerator down. it's not. Good old fire, it just doesn't want to go out, does it? There we go. Nothing like getting the throttle body wire is nice and toasty. Alright, so there's a few different ways you can find top dead center. You can shove a screwdriver in the cylinder, bump it over till the screwdriver falls out. Don't really like doing that. You can cause some major damage there too. You can stick your thumb over it, put a thumb in it, and bump the engine over, and go pop your thumb out when it builds up compression. Usually kind of need two people for that, or a loser switch as Mortsky calls it. This is what I'm gonna do. Just ground with some paper towel, thread it in there. You can go one of two ways. It can suck it in, so leave it kind of big, you know. But yeah, once it gets top dead center, it should go pop and send it out. It's amazing, I own thousands of sockets and I never have a spark plug socket. So let's see if we can break this one. That's probably what is gonna happen. My spark plug socket, I mean, with a little rubber boot inside or a magnet. Ooh, that was tight. Oh man, real tight. There we go. A little carbony. Alright, I didn't pull the distributor cap off like I was saying I was gonna. Pretty sure it's pretty close as far as that, and I don't think it'd be enough to where I could tell if it jumped a tooth or not. The distributor is adjustable, so I'm kind of thinking that might be my next go-to thing. But since I got a plug out, I am going to check compression just out of curiosity. I mean, apparently it's got some compression because it did fire off, but just out of curiosity. Well, that's good. That's pretty good compression. Now, is it that way across the board? I do not know. Am I going to check? Probably not. All right, well, I'm gonna just check for top dead center anyways. I turned the engine over since we thought it was on top dead center, but it looks good. This car's got 80,000 miles. Doesn't mean it couldn't have jumped time. The only thing that kind of makes me curious is it backfired out of the throttle body, which would tell me the timing is advanced. I would think if it's gonna jump time, it would jump it backwards. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up to top dead center. It'll pop that piece of paper towel out, and we'll check the timing mark again, because like I said, I really have no idea where it's supposed to be, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm kind of at the point where I think I'm gonna pull the fuel filter, turn the pump on, put a catch pan under the fuel filter, and see if the fuel pump pumps. If it does, obviously look at the fuel, I'm sure it's terrible, but more or less just cycle the key maybe till the tank's empty. I also got to see how much fuel's in the tank, because I have it unplugged right now, so it reads full, but yeah, I've got no idea whatsoever. So we're gonna bring it back up to top dead center and kind of look at it a little bit more. Well, that had me startled. I thought it sucked it in the motor. That would kind of suck. I mean, I'd probably just start the engine up and let it burn it off, but yeah. So we'll try it again. I was really hoping it'd pop, which it really didn't. Make a note to hold the throttle open too. Actually, I'll just run a screwdriver down there. Throttle body work like carburetors with that? I do not know. I'm about to find out. Throttle body is clean. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit better. How about this? There we go. Now if it does get sucked down, we can tell. There we go. That was it. That's what we were looking for. So hopefully you can see it there. That little line, that's on our harmonic balancer. And there is our timing marks to line it up and set your timing. Looks like we're pretty far off. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking this thing jumped time. So it's been a little bit, but we're gonna get back on the 90 Cadillac. We're gonna tear it apart, do a whole timing set on it, new chain, gaskets, all that good stuff. Start tearing down the front end, that way I can make a little bit more room to get in there to work a little bit easier. I'm going to start by taking these braces out of the way. Those are 13 millimeter. And we'll start taking probably our fan shroud off. I think we have to take this off, take the fan shroud off, just to open up some room to work here. Looks like we got 2 bolts for our fan shroud. Looks like it staples together down there. We'll see how that goes. So the bottom of our fan shroud did have 2 more 10 millimeter bolts. I'll show you where those are at once we get this out. I'm trying to not be under the car as much as possible. Jack stand, all that good stuff. But the ground's wet. I was laying on cardboard. It only holds off water for so long. But we're going to pull our fan off. That way we can pull our shroud off in one piece, hopefully. Those are 13 millimeter bolts. Hopefully they'll come out smoothly. Throw a little bit of lube on there just for some extra insurance. I was afraid that was going to happen. Well, that's wanting to slip, so I'm going to go get a screwdriver, shove in there, and I can hold that still and take those nuts out of there. Alright, take 2. We'll wedge that down in there. I should probably loosen it instead of tightening it. That would probably help. That'd probably actually help a lot. I just want to make sure it's on there. Make sure it's good and tight before we take it off. Working backwards, alright. Makes it harder. Yeah, even though I'm literally on the front of it. Yeah. This is my first day working on cars. If you notice on this fan here, you got some blades that are closer together. All those. And you got a little spot where you got a gap. You also got one over here. That works good to be able to get your hands down in there. Now let's see how well this goes. Somebody did lose a oil fill cap, it looks like. The motor's got one on it, so that's a good sign, but they must not have looked too hard. Yeah, that's a little cap for a Cadillac. I seen 2 bolts while I was down there. Which is kind of unfortunate, because I'm not pulling the radiator. That ain't happening. 10 minutes later, I'm pulling the radiator. But I am going to pull this off, just so I can pick up the radiator a little bit. Maybe get that on underneath. Well, I crawled back under there to see. That bottom piece actually does sit under the radiator. But it also bolts to the core support, which is kind of odd, I guess. Maybe not. Anyways, we're going to pull this off. Try and pick up the radiator just a hair. Let's pull that out. Worst case scenario, we're just going to split this fan shroud in half. Send that out to get it chrome plated. You might not be able to get out of there in one piece. I'm going to try anyways. How about that? Yeah, we're just going to split it and be done with it. Since we got a screwdriver right here. They use the strongest freaking staples ever. God dang. Well, I just gonna pull this damn radiator as much as I don't want to. Yeah, screw it. We're gonna do it. Got the lower hose loosened. Yeah, trying. I guess I'll set this down off the jack. Hidden switches. Reach down here. Pop that loose. That acts like it doesn't want to, which is cool. I don't know why would it. I don't know why they put this fan shroud in the way. Come on. I don't know going over there again. You can either come off or we'll break the radiator trying. That's the strongest bond ever. There we go. Got it. pull off our transmission lines. This is literally the worst part of the whole job here, in my opinion. Should be 13 millimeter. We will see. Yes, I am loosening. Had to think about it for a second. Oh, that's cool. It's just slipping. Awesome. Nope, vice grips it is. All right, take two. We're not asking, we're telling. Maybe one day these cars will learn I will beat them, one way or another. Even if it has to go to the junkyard as a result. Those want to be real stubborn. I mean, real stubborn. We got some wiggle action, but unfortunately, the nut is rusted to the line. You know, because I mean, who the hell didn't see that coming, right? I can honestly admit that I did. It happens all the time. Like, pretty much every time. Is this a freaking OG radiator? It sure is. Yeah, it's brass. I thought it was plastic. Well, that's probably why it's such a pain to take out. You can either come loose or break trying, I don't care. I'm about to go get a tubing cutter and just cut you off. I prefer to play nice, but if you don't want to play nice, we can do it however you want it. Got me a little tubing cutter here. I'm just gonna cut it off, be done with it. Don't ever be afraid to cut anybody off or anything. Who's the punk now? Me, because it's probably gonna be a pain putting it back together. Alright, let's see if the other one wants to play any nicer. Now that it's seen our capabilities and seen what we can do. Yeah, it feels like it's stripping. Rounding off, I should say. That was wrong. But the line doesn't feel like it's gonna do any better. And that one's in a real booger of a spot to get to. So, probably gonna cut it back there as much as I really hate to do that. Let me throw this on it, wiggle it just for a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. Maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, I doubt it, but we haven't so far, so why start now, right? The transmission fluid isn't looking too healthy. Join me for my next video, replacing a transmission in the Fleetwood, or whatever this is, 90 Sedan DeVille. Well, it's loose now. So it looks like we'll be doing some transmission line repairs as well. Oh joy. But there's a radiator. Check this out. It pulls right out as I find out it's two pieces. I'm not gonna lie, I would be kind of angry. Now check out all that room for activities. It will actually make the job a little bit more pleasant, but yeah, just some extra work that I didn't really want to do. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pull the belt off. If you're not making a YouTube video and you can't refer back to it to see the belt routing diagram, you might want to draw it out. Because not always is it on the fan shroud. Yeah, it is on this one, so we're good either way. Cool. We'll loosen up our tensioner. Pull it off whatever pulley comes the easiest. None of them. That's a pretty strong tensioner, but I am stronger. It sounds a little crappy, but it feels pretty good. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Hopefully we shouldn't have to pull any more than the water pump, but you know, also didn't have to pull a radiator, and here we are. Set that with a stash of parts, and then we'll go ahead and pull the water pump. Should be, well, my gut told me 15 millimeter, but actually 9/16 fits the best, which is kind of weird. Loosen these up by hand, because if not, I'll probably snap them using the impact. And there you can see the front of our timing cover. We still got to take off our belt pulley, I guess what you call it, and then our harmonic balancer after that, and then we can start pulling off the timing cover itself. And the pulley bolts appear to be 9/16 as well. It's kind of odd, usually it's just metric, but whatever. Just brought a hammer, or a dead blow or something. I don't know why I didn't do that. Use my dead blow screwdriver, I guess. The crank bolt may go through that now I'm thinking about it. Pretty sure that should be a 5/8. 5/8 it is. This will probably be where I need to get my little dinky air compressor with my impact that'll hold like 2 Ugga Duggas. I'm pretty positive the motor is just going to keep turning over with a wrench. Let's see if we can get lucky. I already know we can't, but why not try it, right? Yeah, well, I was wrong. First time this year. Yep, that definitely needs to come off to pull the pulley off. Yep, how much easier is that? So I was getting ready to install my harmonic balancer puller tool, and I was bringing it up top dead center. But I noticed something I kind of want to bring you guys in and let you hear it. I didn't really super diagnose this car. I was kind of going off what my buddy told me. Take a listen here. This is kind of, you know, confirming what they already told us. That's a pretty good bit of slack that you can hear in there. And we're getting ready to install our puller here. Use the little brass cone that it comes with. Don't just put that in there. That will 99% of the time mess up your threads on your crank, which you do not want to do. Ask me how I know. That's for a later story on my tan Fleetwood before I owned it. Yeah, it was like a month-long endeavor, but that'll be for another time. So we're gonna get our bolts put in here, get everything pretty much bottomed out. We'll bottom it out and then turn them back probably a quarter turn or so, and then we'll put some pressure on our crank and we'll pull it off. Alright, we're gonna stick a screwdriver down in there, try and help us hold the engine from spinning. It might be a longer pry bar now I'm looking at it. We'll start pulling on our puller. Hopefully it'll come off like it's supposed to. Looks like it's moving, so that's a good sign. Ow. Alright, now we got our harmonic balancer or damper, or whatever you want to call it, out of the way. We'll start pulling our timing cover bolts. I would have been disappointed if we didn't drop something in the grass. Alright, we got our bolts out. There is probably a better way of taking this cover off, but I'm going to use a screwdriver. No, that's a pretty easy way. There are some tabs down at the bottom, down here, that go into the oil pan. Don't remember if I have to loosen the oil pan. Kind of seeming like I'm going to have to, because that's pretty well stuck. Yeah, that came loose there. Let's mess with it and find out. It kind of seems like you do. I might have to phone a friend and double check. It's been a while. There ain't no bolts down there. I think I have to loosen those front two. Alright, I called my buddy. Actually, I was texting him because I don't ever call my buddy. But he said he usually removes the first 2 to 3. I probably just am going to remove the first 2. If I can get to this one. I mean 2, I mean 1 on each side. So 4 altogether. The very beginning one is a 13mm. And the one back from there is a 10mm. Here she comes. We're going to tear our front oil seal up, which that is normal. I don't know a way around that. Actually, we didn't. pop that back in there. Let's pretend. Yeah, I like that. We'll probably pop it back out, put a little bit of sealant on there. Yeah, that was probably our problem there. Our dots are lined up, so that's good. We can just pull these gears off, put new gears on, and roll with it. If you're being lazy like me, the last 2 timing chains that I've done, I didn't replace the bottom one. This bottom one actually looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of scarring there from the chain, but it ain't bad. Sprockets aren't sharp or nothing. Really, in honesty, probably could just throw a top sprocket and a chain on there. We're gonna see. I've seen horror stories about these. We'll kind of see how they go. You guys couldn't see a damn thing. Well, that really sucked. Yeah, you seen I got the cover off, but you guys didn't get to see a thing. Yeah, pretty good bit of slack there, so that's more likely our problem. Our dots are lined up, so we're good there. We'll undo our 3 bolts, pull this off, drop it down a little bit, pull the chain off. I have done quite a few timing chains without changing the sprocket, and the sprocket actually looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of scarring there just from where it rubs the chain, but as far as like sharpness goes, it's good and smooth. We'll see how it goes. I've heard nightmare stories about these. We'll throw a puller on there, try and pull it off. Worst case scenario, we'll throw that one back on, but I've seen you heat up that lower sprocket with like a torch. Don't get like red hot or nothing like that. Just heat it enough to expand it, and it should slide off and slide back on. We'll see how it goes. All right, our top timing gear has a 13mm. We'll see how it does. There we go. I don't want to spin the engine over if I don't have to. I will use the impact, but I'd rather not. There we go. The reason I don't like using impact very much, I've had a lot of technicians work for me. I love their battery powered impacts. They broke a lot of bolts, cross-thread a lot of bolts, and caused a lot of headaches. Now, if it's something long and water pump bolts, yeah, I'll pull them out. I'll start it with a socket, or start it with a ratchet and then pull them out with the impact. But something that I think might break, I'm going to use my hand first and kind of go from there. Yeah, got that off. Make a bunch of noise, slam a bunch of stuff around here. Find where I put the screwdriver right there. Pop this off. I said pop this off. There we go. Voila. So here's my new gear. I did slide it on the snout of the crank, and it does slide on pretty easily. Sure, once it gets back to where it's supposed to be, it'll probably be a little bit more of a pain. But I'm questioning not changing this out. Not just to be lazy, but honestly, the other one looks a little bit better. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Because I would like to put a part that was made to work with other parts on there. I guess we'll pull it and see. We'll open another can of worms, right? We're not going to take the radiator out. Here we are fixing transmission lines, so might as well pull the crank out and rebuild the whole motor, right? Let's just see how bad this is going to go. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty bad. Yep, she moved. And that fell off, so that's cool. Now it moved. Now we got to pull it off. Should have left well enough alone. Let's try and pick up where we left off at. It'd be real nice if the head of that wasn't all mauled up and I could put a ratchet on it. But it is what it is. I think we'll definitely have to heat up our new gear. Definitely. Sway bar is right in the way. We can go like that. Yes, we can. That's a ticket right there. Should have brought something. Sure, it was back a little bit further. Alright, so I heated up that sprocket just with a little propane torch. It did allow it to go on a lot further than what it was just without heating it, but I am still going to press it on. I'm going to use a harmonic balancer installer and a piece of pipe, and hopefully that'll get it pushed on properly. Alright, had to make a little washer go on there. It was just tearing up my bearing. So now that we got that all done, maybe we can get back to work here. It appears to be moving, so that's a good sign. That feels to be bottomed out. So we're good there. I'm going to clean up the gasket surfaces a little bit. They're actually pretty clean, but you can always have them cleaner. You got a little rag down there. Try and catch some of the debris. And got me a little roll-lock Brillo pad. Forgot I had these. It'll be easier to get these little corner pieces. Well, I say that. So I managed to move the crank just a little bit when I was pushing that on. I thought I did. I went ahead and threw my sprocket on there to line it up to confirm that I'd move it, and I did. So we got them both lined back up again. So now we're ready to throw our chain back on. And I don't really know an easy way of getting these on. We're just going to kind of mess with it and see what we can come up with. I'm going to start out by trying to line my dots up. Get the threads on the bottom there. And the dots are lined up. So now the problem is we got to get our dowel pin in there. And try not to drop everything all at the same time. And try and keep everything all on time. Well, I'm gonna bring you guys back after I'm done wrestling this thing. Alright, so I went against my better judgment, just gave her a little tap. Nothing major. It would almost go on. I don't know what was really holding it off, but we're gonna start bolting it up. I just got it finger tight right now. I did pull this out just a hair, so I'm gonna have to press that back on just like I did before. Yeah, we're going to start the reassemble process now. Yeah, we got our bolts all put on. I put a little bit of blue Loctite on there and torqued them down to 20 foot-pounds. Kind of seems like a lot for that little bolt, but that's everything I can find. That's what they suggest. So that's what we went with. Didn't break them off, so that's a good sign. So we're going to start putting our cover on now, after we make sure that our crank gear is seated all the way back. All right, I'm going to put some gasket sealant around the edge, set my gasket on there, kind of let it tack up. Again, I put some gasket sealer around there. You might notice I cut that lip off. That'll help it go back in there a lot easier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Put some oil on our seal so it doesn't have a dry start. And we're going to get our gasket tacked up and put it back together. All right, we got our timing cover gasket applied to our cover. And put some little bit of RTV there. I did put a little bit on the bottom. I am reusing the factory seal, which is probably a terrible idea. What I wish I would have done while I had this off, push that back, put a little bit of RTV under there. I got some, but probably should use a little bit more. But we're going to roll with it and see. Probably be a huge mistake. All right, here we go. Looking good so far. We might probably totally block the view for you, 100%. Awesome. That landed not good at all. Cool, man. Not terrible. And that's why we record this stuff. So goes bad every single time. Well, that didn't go as good as planned. Let's try it again. Alright, when going to putting your dampener back on, you definitely want to make sure this piece is tight onto this, because you don't want this loosening up in the crank. Once the dampener's on, it'll be kind of a pain to get out of there, so kind of put a little snug-a-dugga down on that. That way, when you're done, you go to pull this out, it all comes out. Also, I bottomed this out, and then I turned it back just a hair in the crank. That way this wasn't tight, because that'll also make it stick in there. Alright, as you got our dampener on there, I just pushed it on by hand a little bit. We got our tool installed. Start tightening that up until it seats all the way. Alright, so I got the front of the motor pretty much buttoned up. I threw the water pump on just to kill some time. I was going to purge the fuel system. I did turn the engine over by hand, so there's not there would be interference in this motor, but you know, everything going like it should. I was going to purge the fuel system, found out the fuel pump doesn't work. Awesome. So I was going to pour some fuel down the throttle body, see what she does. Alright, let's see what she does. That should be plenty, I hope. We're about to find out. Wasn't terrible. They didn't backfire like it did last time, so that's a good thing. Let's see if we can just flood it out. How about that? Does seem like an awfully lot of fuel got to dump in there just to get a small little result. Well, we're off to a better start than we were last time. I can definitely say that. I'll just dump some in there and see what she does. Might flood her out, might override it. Who cares? Squirting up there. Well, that's probably not going to be a good temporary fix. At least we know the transmission pump works. Well, the oil leak down there really sucks, because that's probably the part of that gasket that in place. Yep, I should have known better. I get to do it all over again. As far as that goes right there, I did have a slit in the hose. I forgot I cut it for a different project. Got that cut out. Got that one tightened up a little bit more. We'll see what it does. That's just really temporary, just to try and get the thing running. Yeah, we'll throw a little bit more gas at it. See what we can do. I know we ain't going to get no perfect idle or nothing, but just try and get it running for a little bit to
Make sure it doesn't have no major noise. Alright, go ahead and hit it. Hit it again. Alright, hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Ain't too bad with no fuel pressure. Well, it does somewhat run. I'm gonna have to tear back into it, fix that oil seal, which is a bummer, but that's what happens when you skimp out and stuff, I guess. So yeah, oh well, it is what it is. I'm gonna have to get the fuel situated, probably put a fuel pump in it. Getting power back there, just not getting a pump when I turn direct power to the pump, so definitely bad. Bummer, yes, it is what it is. I figured it'd be bad sitting up that long. But anyways, it does run a little bit. I don't hear any bad noises coming from the engine, which is definitely a good sign. Makes me a little bit more intrigued to put some more money into it. I wasn't about to dump, you know, a bunch of money into it if it had a rod knocking or something like that. So there's a little bit of hope. But gonna kind of bring it to an end for this video. I hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it helped you out. You can learn what not to do by my mistakes. Anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, give it a share. I appreciate you watching. Remember, you won't know what you can do till you try. Might be able to mess up your ride, or you might be able to fix it. See ya.